So when did you guys meet?
2002, I think it was.
2002?
At Shannon's.
Okay, so
Which
you
is
both
now
are...
Spirits of Bacchus.
One day you guys just walk into a place and just meet each other? How did it happen?
Well, you had your band going.
Mike, what was the name of your band?
Just take them
I
back to
had
Resolution.
Mike Rogers' band for a long time, and I had, before that, out of high school, Resolution. And then I was in another band called Olive Carpet, a lot of bands, a whole lot of bands. And then at the time I was in a band called What Was That? And I saw you playing, and that was that. And it was like, I think I came up to you and I was like, you need a saxophone player, or I can play guitar
Every
too.
band needs a saxophone.
I was like, wow, she's got soul. I was like, wow, we gotta do something. So here we are.
We played together for a little while, and then you went out to San Francisco to make your album.
Went out there and made an album, and you stayed here
I
and
stayed
had your
here
band
and
here.
just, I kept plugging away at the band thing, and then you came back, and we played together again. Actually, we had a full band when you got back, because he played guitar the first time, and we had a full band, so you just kind of you did sit in on sax, so we had a 5-piece there.
I was the
for a
saxophone
while.
player first.
Yeah.
Before the guitar player position, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And so then you went into guitar?
Yeah.
Now, Heather, how did you get into the music thing? I mean, you're going to high school. Were you always a musician? Or?
I grew up playing in church, and just for stuff at school and things like that. And then I went to college in Tennessee for a couple years and didn't really find anything else that really turned me on. I tried because I was like, well, I love music, but I don't really want it to be something I have to do. And nothing really stuck. So I came back, took some music classes at Edison, did horribly, and waitressed and had a little coffee shop for a while. And then finally I was like, okay, I was living in a house with people that were musicians, and we just would kind of get together and jam. And we played an open mic night at, it's Cafe Matisse now, but it was the Liquid Cafe. And we did an open mic, and Shannon came over from Spirits of Bacchus and was like, I want you guys to play at my place. I was like, we only know 6 songs. He's like, I don't care, play your 6 songs to take a break, play them again. And that was when you got in the band, and we played over there, for a little while. And then it just was like, it was kind of cool. We had support right away. People kind of were into it, and so we just kept going.
And how did you guys decide on Heather Brooks' band? How did that came to
Oh,
be?
this is another thing.
That's not even the name of the band.
That needs to be dispelled. Yeah, I mean, the reason it was called that, 6 years ago, was because I wrote the songs, and the guys were there, and they kind of helped me put the band together. But after that fact, when you came into the band full time, we kind of were already up and going under that name, and so we kind of kept it. But we've been actually co-fronting this band for probably about 5 years, would you say? And finding a band name is like naming a child. It's so difficult. I mean, at least with a kid, you only have 2 parents that care, With a band, it's like, I mean, it's really bad. It's not fun at all. And so when you see these bands that are up and running and they have their name and they have their logo, I'm so jealous because it's just a tough thing. So we went through a couple of names, and we played Nameless for a while. The full band that we're actually in.
When you're nameless, how do you market yourself?
The people
it's like
end
a
up
symbol,
making
like Prince, like a symbol. They're playing.
Exactly.
Good idea.
Just to look. Where you guys going? We're going to see. And then our duo, which is mostly what we do during the summer, is called Vanilla Crosby. And again, that's about half and half. We both sing lead, or we back each other up.
How did that name came to be?
We were in New York. Oh, should we tell a real story?
Sure. Yes. Nobody will ever hear this. It's just us guys.
You can keep the details to whatever level you like.
Come on, Mike.
Well, I'm just trying to remember. We were in the car listening to something.
Roy Hargrove.
Roy Hargrove. And kind of under the influence of mind-altering substance. And then you said it sounded like, the music sounds like vanilla.
We were talking about Christmas.
Yeah.
We were talking about what music our parents played, and the smells and, you know, the whole sensory experience that, you know, different memories bring up. And I was talking about how my parents always played Bing Crosby. And I was like, yeah, what would Bing Crosby smell like? What would Bing Crosby's
Vanilla.
music smell like? We're like, yeah, vanilla. And they were like, Vanilla Crosby. You know, it was really like, oh yeah, Bing Crosby, vanilla. Vanilla Crosby.
Of course, it sounded awesome.
Yeah, we were just like, yeah.
Anything sounds awesome.
So let me ask you guys, when did the love connection happen? So you guys are playing.
That was immediately for me. The love connection.
When did it
Wow.
happen for you? I mean, how did it evolve, I guess?
I mean, music, you know, if you connect on music, like, oh, I like this, I like that too. Oh, you do? I like you, you know, I like you a lot now. Yeah, it's like, if there was an immediate connection, because we both like the same stuff, you know, soul, and then you eat some jazz or something like that, some rock, some kind of heady stuff. I think you mentioned Pete Yorn or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you get that, there's the spark, and it just never ends.
We both were doing our own thing too.
Yeah.
Like Mike's original your resolution was when you were like
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
So he'd been writing and fronting his original band since he was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a songwriter to songwriter kind of connection is pretty serious. And then like you say, you know, just the fact that our musical influences were so much the same, and it's a very particular kind of life. You don't have a lot of other things going on. You know, there's a lot of like reclusive kind of
Mhm.
solo time
Yeah.
to write, just like with, I'm sure anyone who does anything artistic, they kind of go away and do their thing, and it's something that we really understand about each other. Whereas if we had different jobs, if one went out and played all night and the other one worked all day, or it just, you know,
Two different worlds.
it's
so to
tough,
speak.
yeah. So there's just a lot of common ground. There's a lot of things we can talk about, and then there's a lot of things that we don't have to explain.
Do you guys write together or do you write separately?
Both.
Both. And do you find it hard to be a couple and to work
Mhm.
together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You spend a lot of time together, you know, just like, and especially creatively, if you're working on something, we both have egos. Both are like going, oh, man, my stuff's good. It's like,
Because the shots don't have ego.
Yeah, right. But you know, like, she come up with an idea or something like that, and I'll be like, yeah, you know, I could be better, and then vice versa. You know, it could go on,
Yeah.
but then you like learn like, man, it's all good. It really is. It's just all good. What are you coming up with? You know, I can like play something around that. You know, so we just like stop judging each other. That's like, that takes years. That's
Yeah.
And how does that process work? Do you just decide, you know what, Monday 10 to 12 I'm going to sit down and write, or do you just go to a place and you get inspired? How does the whole creative process work for you guys?
Well, we each have our separate space, which is nice. Like we each have a studio in a separate place in the house, and it's more like we have to set aside time to do other things, because
Mhm.
pretty much from the time we get up till the time we go to bed, that's allotted music time pretty much. Because like you say, if you could just punch in at 10 and go, okay, 10 to 12 I'm gonna have 2 productive hours and the inspiration's gonna come and it's all just gonna, but it doesn't really work like that.
Yeah,
you
because I was
know?
going to say, creativity kind of, especially when you're forcing it, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to flow.
It's rough, you know.
But at the same time, you guys need to come up with, you know, songs, and you need to come up with things to play, or otherwise you won't have a job. So how, I guess my question is, how do you force it at the same time, let it be natural and let it be good and, you know, part of your talent?
Well, luckily, go ahead.
I mean, you let it be forced when it's forced, and you go, that's forced, and then you'll come back around to where it's like, I always think of it as like playing video games or something when you're a kid. Like you don't force yourself to play video games. You just show up and you're like in the fun of it, and then when you get bored of it, you go like that and you walk away and you run outside or something. Music's got to be like that. You come to it's like, it's a PlayStation, and then like you're done with it, you walk away, but then you come back and you're like, it's my work too, so I have to work.
Right.
And I have to really like perfect what I do, and then you just have to walk away when you start getting really like too serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, you know. It's the only thing I can think.
It's fun.